welcome to another
Being on OG.
episode of No Countries for Otakus. Dwayne is back after last week. I was out of town, so I did a small solo episode. It wasn't even really like a discussion about anime or anything. I just went over shit that I've been watching.
Yeah.
It's more like a wrap up.
It was good though. It was good.
Well,
What you should have done is took the camera with you and go live on your night out.
nah, bro. What they say? What happens in Vegas, stay in Vegas.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So that's what we did. I just showed a bunch of anime that came out this season that I've been watching, and just a brief overview of Castlevania. But I didn't want to talk too much about it because it literally came out that day. It would have been like fucked up to like go in depth into it, and then
Why not? Other YouTubers do it, but nah, I get you.
We a little bad, but we not that bad.
You should have watched it with me.
So this week, we actually going to talk about it. Season 4. Whoo-wee. Season fucking 4, bro. After coming off of season 3, which was a bad note in the grand scheme of things. Like, I know that you see season 4, you actually understand why season 3 was like that. I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, when I watched season 3 the first time,
Mhm.
I didn't enjoy it. I was like, man, this sucks. Like compared to you had season 1 and season 2, it with season 1 and season 2, it felt like the story was completed. Like whereas season 3 kind of had like so many open holes. And I was like, man, I didn't enjoy it. But then I rewatched it before I watched season 4, and I was like, you know what? That was what I messaged. And I was like, you know what? It's not that bad. If I look past the open holes, it's not that bad.
The open holes get closed in 4.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So you almost need season 4 to appreciate season 3.
You do.
But you had to wait really fucking long.
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm okay with waiting long as they close it. Because right now, I hate aching for Final Space B. Like, y'all been at this for 3 years. And I like, what happened? At least, if you can't finish the animation, like drop a manga or something. Like, bruh, you give me such a good story, you just stop.
Hey, so before we dive into this anime, shout out to the rest in peace to the creator of Berserk. He passed away this week.
Yeah, man.
We were blessed to have that initial story. We talked about it, man. Like, we got to touch it before he passed away. The manga is not going to be finished, but who gives a shit? The initial story is where he was at. Honestly, I think that was the story. Like, we've already discussed this, and we said that first arc, the Golden Age arc and everything was the. I mean, we ain't saying that there wasn't more, but to me, that was the masterpiece.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to create it. That's what he did, man.
So, it kind of explains why the manga and everything kind of grind to a halt. That motherfucker was sick, man. No one, yeah. I didn't know. Yeah, you sick. So, hey.
What was it you died from?
I can't remember. I had it written down. It was like, I know it wasn't, I don't think it was cancer.
No, it wasn't.
If you want to wait a sec, I could look it up real quick. Because I think
go ahead. No, I sent you it.
You sent me it, right? Acute erotic dissection? I'm not exactly sure what that is.
Oh no.
You have to Google that, guys. Look at where they
erotic or aortic?
Aortic. I just can't.
Heart issues.
Okay. But anyway, so rest in peace, big dog. And we'll use our imagination to finish the story. Moving so now back on to Castlevania, man. What you think about season 4, bruh?
I didn't enjoy it.
Leave it up. How you didn't enjoy that, bro? Go ahead. I need explanation. Cause I fucking was flipping out in the house, but we all know that your boy's easily entertained. So let's hear what the man has to say. I don't know how you enjoy season 3 and not 4.
Man, maybe I gotta watch it again. I kind of feel, for me, when I watch or play something, I don't have to watch it again because I remember details.
Okay.
Right. So, like maybe it was what was it we did? Shiki. When we did Shiki, I didn't have to watch over Shiki because I remember the details, so it was easy to flow when we did the podcast and stuff. So for me, if you continue in a story, I can't just separate. That's a big issue I got. I can't just separate and watch what in front of me. It's like, well, this don't really compile with what happened in season 1, and you say you continue in the story. Like, so for me with Castlevania, I was trying to see how like you said, season 3 needed season 4 to be ended. But season 4 left me with so many questions. And so much.
Elaborate on them questions when you finish.
Yeah. No, it wasn't disappointment, it was like longing. I was longing for more. Like,
isn't that the point? Because you know they're gonna bring out another 2 seasons.
Not necessarily, and yes, I get it. You leave some open-ended stuff to continue, but also you still need to close some stuff. Otherwise, you just end up like you Simpsons or Family Guy or some crap where you just continue, or South Park where you just continuing for continuing shit. And so I think what really messed it up for me was, if you're gonna continue, then you shouldn't have closed it the way you closed it. Because to me, it feels like you've closed the core of the story. Like, you've really, really closed the core of the story. But if you're gonna continue, it'll be interesting to see what they do to take. All right. So the questions for me was, who's the woman that Saint Germain was chasing?
Right.
Yeah,
you never really you kind of saw her because he had like flashbacks, but you never really got a full. All you know is that he's a woman. It was a woman that he loved, pretty much.
Yeah, but my thing was, and that's what I mean by I can't really close off. From season 3. You knew that, so it's like you gone from showing a shadow to just showing a picture. There's no voice. There's no dialogue between how he went from. Like, you saw how he met her, but there's more to that. It's not just, all right, cool, it's love at first sight. Okay, that's interesting. Like, but did she feel the same way? Was she a mute? Like, indicate at something to give that piece some closure. And to me, that wasn't closed off well. But then it leads to say. Yeah.
Especially and to pack on to your point, because that's a very good point about the Saint Germain story. Because you see how far he was willing to go. He was about to sacrifice the whole fucking earth, pretty much, for this woman. But you, outside of you knowing that he loved her, he used to talk to her, you never heard her speak. You don't really got a name for her, and the only thing is that she was in that corridor, in one of the dimensions in the corridor. Because we didn't really know the character that well, we kind of didn't understand why he went as far as he did.
Yeah,
to try to bring her back.
Yeah, like you can't really connect with the motivation behind it.
So do you think he's dead?
Well, that's the other thing. That is the only way I see season 5 coming back, where they move from the whole Belmont story into Saint Germain.
I got a buddy that was telling me that because I I gonna be real. I don't really know much about Castlevania. I'm like blind as fuck going into this shit. I mean, I know they had the games and stuff.
Yeah, I just
I
played
mean,
the games. That's it.
I didn't really play the games. He was telling me that apparently he, Alucard and they team up to fight like the devil or something. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't speculate on that shit. So we'll just have to wait to see if they do decide to
Yeah.
bring out another one. But judging on how successful this is, they're gonna bring out another one because Netflix money grab. Woohoo!
See, you say that, but the animation studio actually started working on He-Man.
By the
Yeah,
power of
like
motherfucking Grayskull.
exactly. Like they, cause I followed them right, cause I was like, yo, I could probably intern with these guys, cause they do like remote
Mm-hmm.
employees and stuff. And I was just looking at their stuff, so that's how I knew like the season 4 was coming out, and I was like, Sean,
Yeah, I
Sean.
remember you told me that shit. You told me that shit way before it got announced on Netflix.
Exactly. And then I saw like some of the things they were drawing, and I was like, yo, that looked like Battle Cat. I was like, hang on. So I started like going into their blogs and stuff, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shoot, they're starting the Masters universe. So I was like, okay, so that means season 4 finish. And I think that was another thing that kind of threw me off
Okay.
because I was like, okay, so it finished. So I went in with the mindset, okay, this is done. The game closed off everything. Um, but yeah, I to me that was the biggest downfall of Castlevania season 4 for me. There were characters that weren't developed. I can't say developed.
I was like, I don't know about that.
They weren't. Gosh, how do I put this? Okay, so with the exception of Isaac and Hector,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't given enough context. There you go, that you could connect with them. Because up to now, I can't see the whole. I could see the point of why Lenore is in the story, but I can't connect with Lenore. It's like you are worthless.
Which one was Lenore again?
The sister that was in love with Hector, and Hector was in love with her.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I think she
And
went. She died. I was like, why'd you kill yourself? Like, she died at the way she went and stood up in the sun. I would rather not. I would rather not die like this. And all going to my head is, but you're not a prisoner though. Not really.
yeah,
What's
he
his
ain't that
name? Isaac.
revenge.
Isaac was he did what he wanted to do. He got rid of that crazy ass bitch.
Yeah.
He got
Another
rid.
thing, and that yeah, and that was it. It was like some of the motives didn't
Yeah, she
have
didn't want to
that
be by her.
context behind it.
And also because what was her main issue? Like one of her main issues was that she said diplomacy was going to be dead, right? Because the
Yeah,
sister wanted to do. What was the sister's name?
Carmilla.
Camilla. Camilla wanted to do world domination because she a psycho bitch, and I liked her character, like as a villain.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
she's the same
she reminded
character
me of
from
Hera.
yeah,
Cut from the
but
same motherfucking cloth.
she that I think that's another thing that annoyed me too because I was very looking forward
Mm-hmm.
to the story of Carmilla because in vampire lore and also in Vampire Hunter D, she is known as the Crimson Queen because she went on a whole rampage destroying countries and feeding on everyone. So like in Vampire Hunter D, he ends up fighting her. And in the latest one. So like you read the lore and you're like, okay, cool. Like there's some good backstory. So when she started the whole monologue, the whole, you know, she went to the elders for help and the elders denied her and just left she to dead and then she had a thing. I was like, okay, cool. So I don't care if it's dialogue, but we need to work on this story. We need to build some more context because from that point, everybody's looking at her like a villain. But then, as Lenore said, she has a rational reason for why. She wants to, in a sense, you know, empower women in some kind of way.
Rational.
Rational. She want to give female vampires a chance to be seen as leaders. And then and I was like, yo, that's
Yeah,
cool.
but
See where you're
I think the
going.
problem is that
She made
when
bullet
the
the same way as Napoleon.
that's what I'm saying. I think the point of her thing is that when is too much, when is it too far, and it was
Yeah.
starting to get too far. That's why the sister started getting nervous. She's like, when you get the when you have everything, will you be happy? And she's like, I don't know. And at that point, I know this bitch had to go. All right, so that's the way. You got any more issues?
Um. Yes.
God damn,
Uh.
bro.
Yeah.
This
I
your
that
rating is going to be good because it's going to be different than mine.
my other issue was Isaac. I think Isaac.
What?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead. I'm
think I
listening.
think Isaac's
Dude, this is going to be a good episode because
there
I
was
got some different thoughts. Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead. Go ahead.
there was I know he's not a main character, but he was a
Shit.
key piece. He was a key piece to the fall of Carmilla, right?
Shit. He was the fall of Carmilla.
Exactly. There should have been more. There should have been more. There should have been less of him just trying to figure out what he wanted to do, and more of him taking action. Like I would have, because it was like there's 10 episodes. There was 5 episodes of him rebuilding the city and talking with the fly and figuring out, like, you know what, I actually did what I wanted to do. Where do I go here from next? And then his conversation with Barney and stuff like that. And to me, that shouldn't have taken too long. I understood why it took so long, because they were trying to build up the entire story from season 3 in order to get to the whole um, premise of season 4. But to me, Isaac should have had a lot more. Like, he should have ended up fighting Striga, and he should have, maybe not Morona, but Striga before he got to Carmilla. He definitely should have ended up fighting Striga, and probably Lenore before she got trapped. But again, 10 episodes, you got, what can we leave in and leave out to carry on the story? That was my thing. That note might be a little bit biased, because I enjoyed Isaac's story,
I
even from
thought that
watching
story
him.
was fine.
Huh?
I thought that story was fine. But go ahead.
Yeah, but to me the ending was like, it was like da 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 da, like how Superman started when he fly. I can fly, mountain. It fell flat real quick. So I was like, I enjoyed the fight scenes. All his choreographed fight scenes was nice. Carmilla choreographed fight scenes was nice. I thought they were extremely beautiful to watch, as an animator, and seeing how the different colors was mixing in and stuff. The other thing that I liked as well is that they really stuck to the idea, like, yo, this is war. This isn't honest shit. I ain't gonna go up against a vampire with my little knife one by one. I send their horrors and they attacking at the same time. And I also love that they kept the reference to the lore about Bloodbath Carmilla, and her eyes go red, and the pupils go from blue to green, and then she's like be strong and stuff. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I just wanted more of it. So that's a bias
Oh, so
back
you
there.
just being greedy, motherfucker.
Yes.
I was like, that's only greed. All right. So I let Dwayne go on for a little bit, and they're all valid. They're all valid points. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like, what I liked about our discussions is that because obviously I always say this every show, you come from an animator, creator point of view,
Mhm.
and I'm I'm which I always refer to myself as average Joe. Well, because I'm watching it from an average Joe perspective. I'm watching it as a guy that just like, yo, Netflix, woo! You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
a lot of the stuff I won't pick up because I'm not looking at it from an animator's perspective.
Hmm.
Um, Isaac, now that you said that, I can understand. Probably he needed a couple more battles in his story because
Yeah.
after he fought that dude in the city, obviously he was rebuilding the town
Yeah.
and stuff,
Flat, flat, and then all of a
and
sudden
then
you got Carmilla.
yeah,
Like,
Carmella. So it's almost like you skip like you like skip a couple bosses. All right,
yeah,
at least one more fight. But like you,
literally, because he had a tunnel that went straight to her.
yeah. Because it almost makes it would have made sense if he had to travel through like because he obviously got on the boat last season. He
Yeah,
went to that town. He fought that dude. It would have been a little better if he had in between the Carmella fight, he had fight one more person.
yeah. Which is what I'm saying.
Right.
He
But
because he knew he had to get to Striga, but he didn't know where the castle was. So if he
right.
had ended up in the field where more not Striga, Carmilla, he didn't know where so if he had ended up in the field where Striga and Morana fought
Right.
them, and even if he didn't win, but escaped and then figured out because the whole premise of it would have been I just need to know where the castle is.
Right.
I don't need to win. Fought them, kind of lose, escape, and gone straight to Carmilla, realizing
I
that
think
her two generals weren't there.
the thing about it is the
I would have been
reason that
fine.
they needed they kind of did that though is because they needed to kind of rope Hector into something. And don't forget, it was because of Hector was the reason he knew how to get to the castle because he was helping that other guy resurrect fucking Dracula.
Yeah,
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So like, if you put the middle person, which is Striga, which is a good, which would have been awesome, Striga and them, then
yeah.
Hector's involvement probably would have been a little off. And then like the discussion between Hector and him when he came out, Hector thought he
Mm-hmm.
was gonna kill him, and he was like, I ain't here to kill you, bro. We not kids no more. I just want Camilla." And then he was telling him about Dracula. He's like, dude, I've set up
Yeah,
everything to bring Dracula back. And he's like, dude, let Dracula sleep. He's like, let him rest. And I'm starting to, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I get your point, but I also can see from their perspective. And then it's 10 episodes. There's not like a
Yeah.
24 episode of anime.
That was what I
And
said. It's 10 episodes, man. So you know
you got
what can they
episode
leave in and what can
constraints.
they leave out.
Yeah. And we could always want more, bro. But I think they
Yeah.
kind of did a good job. And jeez, what the fuck was that in here? Like a little fly. That was weird. For me though, like that would have made it real better. But I still like Isaac's story, and also I like how, like I say, the reason you needed season 3 because you get to see his evolution. Because when he started in the desert after escaping the castle at the end of season 2, it was all about revenge, right?
Yeah.
And then as he moved on, you see the evolution from revenge to conquest, and then he was like, dude, you know what? This revenge thing ain't worth it, man. I need something bigger. So that's why he was like
Yeah.
rebuilding the town. Then he was explaining to the demons, he's like, you keep looking at yourself as just foot soldiers, but I got a bigger plan for it. You know what I mean? So we can rebuild this town when people start repopulating and stuff, you know, building goodwill and shit, and then so on and so forth. That fight scene with Camilla, there ain't much you can say about it. That shit was beast as fuck. And he had that I don't know, that flying demon or whatever that kept like
Yeah.
picking him up and shit. That shit was dope. Camilla slaughtering all them fucking demons that was coming for her, and like the
I loved
whole
it.
floor was full of
I
blood.
loved it.
That
Yes.
shit was
Hey,
sick.
you know what? You know why you're freak out at that? You
Mm-hmm.
remember in Vampire Hunter D when the guy had killed the girl and her
Yeah.
blood started to flow into Carmilla casket and then it started to flow down the stairs. And I was like, oh my god, they used the same reference. Yes.
Bruh.
All I needed was a little thing in that somebody hand be like, it's Carmilla. I actually said it myself. It was like 12 minutes. It was like, it's Carmilla.
Oh my god.
The Blood Queen.
The Blood Queen, man. She that fight was fucking dope. I feel like they wanted to close that story, so that's why they killed her off instead of having like a
Yeah.
big long one. The only thing is like her sit like so two of her sisters still live, right? And they in love, so they went off to do some shit. So it kind of like left, like you say, kind of left that like open, like so what happened to them? Like they just went and start living normal. um,
That was the plan.
it was pretty cool to see how even though Dracula was gone and shit,
Hmm.
how people was doing a whole bunch of bullshit still, like fucking sacrificing
Yes,
kids and
yeah,
shit as
I did.
Belmont and
I think that was one of the things that uh was the source of the rating that I gave it, because I was like, yo, this is true. A man create like this thing created a cataclysmic event in the world.
mm,
Like it's not just gonna finish after a day.
right,
Like there's months of because they were fighting for months and months and months before they got back to Targa Vista,
yeah,
and it was good to see how the impact of that one event, even though they had pretty much like you say you go through a game, you kill the final boss, you
mm,
still got to deal with the aftermath.
right,
And I also loved how it kind of affected their relationship as well. As a couple, is like, yo, we have no time at all
none, none.
to ourselves.
And the thing about it is, they weren't even being proactive; they were reactive. They were just reacting to shit happening, like
Yeah.
bouncing from place to place, always a step behind. Um, it was also cool when they finally got to the city. They There's all those people were underground. The girl's like, "What the fuck, man?" And they went
Yeah.
and looked at the fucking king and queen. And they motherfuckers in their bones. And I'm like, she's crazy.
Yeah.
What's funny is the woman admits she's like, "Of course I'm crazy." I'm like, wait, what? So the scene on the day was pretty cool. That Russian vampire was his rant to
Hmm.
the British vampire was pretty fucking
Yeah.
nuts. He's like, "I'm a fucking soldier.
Yeah.
You talk all this shit, but I'm a soldier, bro. I sneak into people's bed while they sleep. You don't know war." I was like, God damn, this monologue is it's actually pretty good.
Yeah. It was good.
He was so sick of that dude shit.
I'm glad you said that as well. Dialogue. Some of the monologues was good, and it flowed, and then other monologues was kind of forced. Like to me, I you know me, I don't really swear, so
Shit,
I
I
don't
know.
really care for it. But if it's in there, it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it felt like everybody was swearing a lot when they didn't need to swear. Like case in
Have you
point,
heard me talk?
yeah, but your swear words interject with
Yeah, I got you, man. I
your
understand.
linguistics. Like there was all right, so when Bernie first saw the Belmont,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, oh, it's a effing Belmont. And from that context, you can see, all right, cool, this guy got pride, right? So when he used that word, it was the emphasis of pride. But then the vampire, the Russian guy responded, and he was like, "Yeah, it's a effing Belmont, blah blah blah." And I was like, "You're not angry. You're not.
So you take the word,
You're
you
not.
take the cussing. Some of this dialogue was they use cuss words just because instead of having an impact.
Yeah, yeah. It didn't
I see
really
what you're
have an
saying.
impact. You think?" And I was like, so sometimes it was hard to get into the scene literally because of the dialogue. Because there was a point where, all right, when Cypher started cussing, I got that. That was frustration. Yo, it's been 6 weeks. Every time we get in a new city to just lay down and butter some bread, I gotta be fighting the demon. Shit, curse word, asshole, whatever she said, right? And that
She's
was
like,
funny.
it's funny because she's like, now you're got me speaking like you.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny because she's never done it, and now she's done it. It shows the frustration, and the way
Hmm.
Belmont respond, he respond with cursing too, like, "Oh, is my effing fault that he was frustrated too." I got that, but then there was a point where they were having a cordial conversation, and he was just cussing, and I was like, "Yo, this didn't happen in season one."
Hmm.
Like You see what I mean? So that was why I say like one of my biggest problems is if you tell me you continue in a story, you can I can't just watch where you're showing me because I'm gonna piece everything that you've done together. It's a bad habit. And sometimes that's why I can't that's why my ratings would be so harsh. Like, yo, I can't do this.
Oh my
Because
god, this
at 1 minute 30 seconds you did this. And then at 24
you're not
58.
that bad. You're not that bad. But it
But
kind
yeah.
of it kind of explains some stuff, like your Marvel hate and shit. But anyway,
Yeah.
it kind of explains some stuff. No, it like I can see it now. It all makes sense because I did not know that. That's all. That's interesting. So obviously, Isaac's story his story kind of ends at what, episode 6, and then
Yeah.
they go back to Belmont. What's the girl's name?
Sypha.
Sypha, and then they bring back
Alucard.
Alucard, and
And Greta. That was interesting.
Alucard was all being alone and a fucking drunk. A drunk. He was just drinking wine. Because of what happened at the end of season 3 with those those twins.
Hey, pissing, scab, and wax. I was like, bro, how long have you been drinking?
Dog, bro, that boy was so dehydrated, but he ain't more. But it just shows, like, even he was trying to be like kind of like, you put them on spikes and shit outside the house. You put them on pikes, but you could tell that wasn't him. He was just depressed because he lost his father. Yeah, he lost his father and shit. And then like the next set of people outside of Belmont and them left them in that fucking castle by himself. And then the next 2 people that came along, he thought he made a bond, fucking straight up tried to murder him. See, so you can tell he was all depressed, but man, guys, that woman that he got now.
Woo! Sean.
She a bad bitch with a hammer. She a bad bitch with a hammer, bro. Woo! Death by Snoo Snoo.
And he got a black girl.
Oh, is she
booty clap?
Is she black or is she looks Romanian? So
she looks darker than all the other characters.
Because Isaac's black.
Exactly.
Isaac's black. I was saying that she was more. I don't want to say it because I think it's a slur now, but yeah. But she's a person of color. Let's just leave it at that.
Mm.
I'm not sure. I think gypsy is a slur, so I don't want to refer to a person like that. You know what I mean?
It's not because the English say so much here.
Right, but do they use it?
But I'm so confused.
No, like do a person from Romania, do they consider themselves that? Like, you know what I mean?
Travelers.
So okay, so yeah, that's what I meant. But she's from Romania, because they're all in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So she's a person of color, bro. I hope he ready. She you can tell that she pretty much running the show. He was like, but it was my idea. She's like, nah, it was my idea. He's like, fuck.
But can't be your idea if you agree to it, son.
So and then so they all meet back up. Okay, so what's happening is Alucard's pretty much he takes all the people from that particular town.
Nesta.
Yeah, and he brings them into his castle, and he's trying to protect them and stuff. From the plan is to through what's his name, Saint Germain, to use to kill off everybody. Use the spirits to resurrect
Dracula
and his woman.
Lisa or Lindsay?
I think it was Lisa. Man, this is why I write notes, because I'm so
Lisa
bad at
Tepesh.
Lisa Tepesh, man.
Yeah.
That boy went to hell anyway. So I give it a Dracula though. He was in love. And there was a funny dialogue at the end that she says to him that kind of tell me that he was in love. But we gonna.
You mean about the devil?
But, yeah, she was like, I thought you was just gonna go and take the devil's job and shit, but you came straight to me. I was like, wow. Okay.
He was warming up the seat for you. He was like, no, I'm cool.
No, I'm cool, bro. I like that booty. He literally just stood there and hugged her the entire time, like to protect her from others. But anyway, so pretty much the plot was to try to resurrect those two. I put them inside like a body.
Yeah.
and have him go crazy so that death will come back.
I hate the fact they reused Carmelo's body.
Was it Carmela's body that they used?
Yeah, because they had the ring on it.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Which I
Well,
don't
it ain't.
understand because she's in Striga and he's in Terga Vista. How does she?
They used the glass because remember that's how the that British vampire who ends up
Barney.
Varney ends up being
Yeah.
Grim Reaper boy. That's how he got across. Remember, because he jumped straight through too, and that's how
Yeah.
Belmont and all them got over through the glass. So that's how they got the body over.
Yeah, true.
You know, and remember, all this happened. So what's his name kills her and stuff, blah blah blah, and he's like, well, Hector was like, yeah, there's my plan, da da da. So he had already had the plan going in motion to resurrect Dracula and shit before what's his name was like, dude, just let him rest. Just let him rest at this point, right? So that's how I know what you mean, but that's how the body got over there.
Yeah.
So they had that. I ain't gonna just watch it, man. It's a good fight though. The whole fight, fighting everybody in the castle and shit. Then that final fight between Belmont and the Grim Reaper. I call it Grim Reaper. Death.
Yeah.
That dude was like, bro. Man, the Death was killing me. He was like, man, when they killed that woman, when they killed Miss Tepish,
I was happy.
Dracula released all the. He was so happy. He was like, death everywhere. Because what he does is he sucks the essence out of people that die. So he was like, oh, it's about to be a party. And then he's like, you motherfuckers killed him. No! No, he'll be back.
Ruined my shit.
You ruined my shit, man. So, yeah.
I love that monologue because then it goes on and say, like, how fair is that? I've been here since the beginning of time. You mother effers can only do stuff. I have to sit and watch. Yeah. Nah, you bring his ass back. We're going to have my...
We're going to have my party. So, and the fight scenes between all of them and all the vampires was beautiful. I'll be real with you, man. The fighting in this season was epic as fuck, man. From the beginning.
Fighting in all of them.
Yeah, like, and all of them, but because like you was saying, like
you can tell that you can see where the mindset was with this animation. It was like, yo, we want to tell a good enough story, but we want to have great choreography because that is the meat of our animation, and they stuck to it all the way through. I have the art style, the animation, the choreography. I can't fault it in any way.
I feel like this season was like above and beyond, man.
It was.
It was like, we have money. Thank you. And they threw it down, and then and that's pretty much how it wraps up. And then because of what they were doing to resurrect
up the boys, and I hate that twist. That's all I can say. I hate it.
You hate Dracula and the wife coming back?
No, not that. I don't want to ruin it before that.
Oh, you mean using the doppelganger? Or you mean bringing back?
No.
There's so much stuff to have.
I was trying not to say it, but yeah, bring it back, Belmont.
Oh, I am so sorry. My bad. Because I was rattling a whole bunch of shit in my head. But all right, so we're gonna stop there because I see the like I've blown a little load. But yeah, I could see honestly I could see, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit after, just in general. But let's go ahead and do ratings for this.
Intro has always been good, although I can't remember when Netflix was showing me the intro since season.
Now, because it auto skips it.
Yeah, so I don't know if they changed it or whatever. So I just assume they used the same intro from before, and we could get that 4 because it was short, it was sweet. It was like, hey, Castlevania, done. We ain't gonna spend 5 minutes showing you an intro and then give you 15 minutes of animation. We can use 20 minutes.
That's done. So funny.
Characters 5 out of 5. see, I doing the same thing again. Where I combining all the seasons. All right, season 4. Characters 5 out of 5. Animation 5 out of 5. Choreography gold star. Like if there's anybody else that I would like to animate with choreography is these guys. And story 2 out of 5. So
Holy
overall,
fuck, 2?
yeah, B. That's what I tell you. It because I felt like they weren't closed properly. I felt like they weren't closed
A 2,
properly.
bro. We
Saint
get 2s.
Germain, Saint Germain. Listen, it was 5. It was 5 out of 5 when they start episode 1. I was like, yo, this gonna be awesome.
That boy
B,
gave him a 2 for story.
when you going to Saint Germain, I felt like Saint Germain didn't close properly, and I was like, okay, but you close the. It seems like you close the animation, not the story. So I'm like, okay, you didn't close Saint Germain properly. The dialogue played a big part. Yeah, some of it felt forced. The Russian vampire needed a lot more for you to connect with him. The big reveal as death. The big reveal of death was, to me, it was ruined in some ways because I figured it out from episode 3 when they had the people praising death, and I was like, yo, all right, so I death can show up somehow, and then I was like, you seem pointless in this anime, but then you constantly showing up. I was like, all right, so use probably death, and then I would have left it until Dracula came back. Yeah,
tough crowd.
I would have left it until Dracula was revived, and then he showed his true form. But either way,
you can't do that because his whole motivation was to resurrect Dracula. So if you had waited till Dracula came back.
No. When I say came back, I don't mean as Dracula. I meant as the Rebirths. Like as soon as the soul went into the body that they had stitched up, be like, yes, it's happening. Because that's the point where Saint Germain had planned to kill him. Because remember Hector had told him like, yo, that dude, you can't trust him. And Saint Germain was like, all right, cool. I can do it when everything finished. Because the whole idea was Saint Germain would have fused, get the power, and then finish you off. So as soon as that soul enters his body, he just yes, let the party begin. But again, this is me from my writing. I didn't write it. I can't really fault that. But my thing was the closing of the story didn't feel complete. There was a lot of context that was missing in order for you to connect with the character, to really understand their motivations in some points. And to me, you didn't give enough of that, and then you closed it in a way where, like, you understood how it fit the story, but it didn't feel complete. So because of that, I give it a 2. So overall, my thing is 3.5.
3.5. Hey, we don't discriminate on any screws here. Everybody entitled to their thing. I know there's probably people that think the whole show is trash. So, let's see. I don't really give a fuck about the intro.
You never watched it?
Nah, because like literally, I don't think I've watched it since the first episode. Because I always hit skip intro.
Yeah.
You know, because once you do it once, I think Netflix automatically does it for the whole season until you like stop it. So and I binge watch these shows because they release all the episodes at one time. So, whatever the intro, I don't give a shit. Fight scenes, animation stuff, definitely a 5 because once I don't see that 3D shit a lot, man, I'm just happy. Especially on Netflix because they was notorious for that whole shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that shit 5. Epic music, so I get a 5. What was the other stuff you did?
Story was the last one. Story.
That motherfucker get him a 2, bro. I give him a 4. All right, just goddamn. I give him a 4. I'm not as brutal as Dwayne, but he does make good points. Why I didn't give him a 5 for the story. But I think the story was very good. It was actually entertaining enough to hold me down for 4 seasons, and to tell you all the fight scenes and shit. So I give it a 4. Dwayne just gave his entire spiel why he gave it a 2. So I got nothing on that, man. As you can see, he's a little. Hey, like they're good points. I ain't gonna argue them, but I thought the story was at least a 4, 3.5, 4.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. That's why our podcast is so good, because we both enjoy the different point of views and we learn something from it. So like how you see things sometimes is like, you know what, I didn't look at it that way, and then I will watch it again and be like, oh, I gotta change my rating, boy.
There's one rating we all agree on, though.
King's Game. Garbage. Never.
Trash. That shit was so bad. I made an actual trash fucking like screens. Remember, it shows a guy like throws the fucking shit on the wall and just trash can show up. That shit was so bad. Anyway, so yeah. So my final rating, I give 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
It's easy to give it 5 out of 5. I know a lot of people that gave it 5 out of 5, but I do see some of the flaws, and it's not 4 out of 5. It's still real good. Like, man, I ain't gonna pretend
so
like 4 out of 5
it's 3.5.
Yeah, like unless you done that 1.5. King's Game. I think King's Game got a 1, and the only reason I gave 1 is because the dude attempted.
Intro.
And the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember I was like, the intro's so good, the anime is trash. So,
but you think
I gave it a... Fuck, I mean, talking about that right now. Anyway, yes, sir. 4 out of 5. Definitely go and check it out. Watch from season 1 all the way through. Enjoy it, man. It's a good thing, and I look up to that studio's work on He-Man. You know I'm a He-Man. I like He-Man, bro. Power Grayskull. I got the fucking power. Ah!
I want to see what they're gonna do with Battle Cat, because Battle Cat has at least 3 remasters now. So I want to see if they're gonna stick to the last one, where he was like green and muscular, and without the armor, or if they're gonna like soup up the armor to meet.
I don't know, man. I feel like they're going to probably go back to the original. I just want to see what's his name? Was it Skeletor?
Yeah.
That dude was hilarious, man. I want to see, are they going to be dark with it? Because there was a lot of, like, corny shit. Like, if you really look back at a lot of those old cartoons, bro, this just was fucking corny.
It was corny, but they had to be.
Yeah,
because they put some dark stuff in there.
Oh, yeah.
After we watched G-Force, I was like, yo, was all that cartoons like this? I watched He-Man, and He-Man was chopping off people's heads. I was like, yo,
dude, no. There was a lot of death and destruction in those cartoons, like fucking Thundercats and shit. But they threw in a lot of like villages. Yeah, but they put in a lot of like lighthearted stuff to cover up the dark shit. Like, if you really think of it, it was a fucking mummy trying to take over the world. He'd be out there raising demons and shit. Like, even the words ancient spirit, ancient spirits of evil. I'm out there committing genocide and shit. Like, yo. Don't even get me started on G-Force. Oh, Lord. We talked about that. That was a couple episodes ago. You could hear us, like, just rant about it. And, and the OVA, which was definitely for adults.
Man, don't even watch the 105 thing. Just watch the OVA.
Just watch the OVA, bro. Like, the OVA was so well done. And they had the 80s they had that music, bro. I
think we gave it a 5 out of 5.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was like at 4 or 5, and then I changed it to 5 because I couldn't really find a justifiable reason to give it 4. I was just trying to be stingy. It didn't work. All right, so we're going to just talk about some stuff that we watched this week. Also, what I wanted to... So that's the end of that, guys. Be sure to check it out on Netflix. And we'll just go on and talk some little extra stuff before we jump off. What I was talking about is... You know what you don't like, man? When a character makes, and this is just gonna be sharp, when a character dies as a sacrifice, you know, like, and then they bring him back like immediately.
Yeah,
Is it me or like when it comes to like animations and stuff? Like, has Death been cheapened? Do you think so?
that's probably why he was pissed off and trying to bring back Dracula. No,
Well,
I get you. For me,
well, go ahead. The
I
thing about it
think
is, no, it's not just Death. It's just like, for example, and I know you don't like Dragon Ball Super. That's cool. But there's
mhm.
a. Did you watch? Did you watch it? Did you watch the
It's on my
Tournament of Power?
list. No, I'm gonna
Oh,
watch
man,
that.
you gonna fight through that shit, bro. Especially when you see how stupid they dumb down Goku.
Watch
Anyway,
Naruto, and actually, oh, I was like, okay, I get you.
yeah. Well, the thing about it is like, so there's a scene that Android 17, he's fighting his strong shit and he dies, right?
Yeah.
Look like he dies, and then he like pops up like close to the end of the fight because he ends up winning the tournament because he was the
Hmm.
last one to survive. But he like pops up, and I was making the kiss. I was like, dude, when you do this, it cheapens the sacrifice that was made earlier in the show. Because if he's
Yeah.
like, he died, he did this to defeat this person, but by doing this, he had to sacrifice in himself. And everyone's like sad and shit, blah blah blah. And then the dude like pops up the fucking rubble out there, and then you're just like,
Yeah.
it's almost like
Like
okay, even in
like
movies like Star Wars, when they brought back Palpatine in the last Star Wars movie, and I was just like,
yeah.
so Darth Vader's revenge arc is just doo doo, huh? Because what was the point? The point is he sacrificed himself to help
Davis
destroy the Empire and his
and
son,
destroy your empire.
and that brought him back to the light, right? Because remember he was on the dark side. That brought him back to the light, right?
Yeah.
But if you bring back Palpatine at the final
Hmm.
the final movie there, I said that oh nothing, he just came back, and I'm just like, so fuck Darth Vader.
Yeah,
Like,
and Darth Vader is the meat of your sales. So
that's what I'm saying though.
look,
Like,
to be honest, right? I
go
haven't
ahead.
watched it, but I think I watched episode 7, and I was like, yeah,
Which
yeah,
one was
no.
7? Oh, 7 was the Last Jedi, huh?
7. I
No,
can't
no, no,
remember.
no, 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 no.
She
7
found,
was
all right.
Force Awakens.
Yeah, she found Skywalker, and then I watched the one after that, and then I was like, yo, this is garbage. Listen, the easy fix for all that, right?
It's not to write it.
Rather than bringing back Palpatine, you just made the anger that Ben had turn him into the Sith. Because here you have Skywalker's daughter, or supposed daughter, I don't know, I watch it,
Oh
who
no, that's not
awakened
his
on
daughter.
the
That's not
light.
her daughter. That's Palpatine's grandchild.
Either way, she awakened on the light, and you have Ben
Yeah,
who
so it
feels,
balances.
yeah, feels a certain way because he father was never there and all that stuff. He gets so angry, he awakened on the dark side.
Yeah,
And
and then you have the battle.
that was
It didn't
it.
make
That was
sense,
the easy
especially
fix.
because, and I'm not a Star Wars person, so don't come for me in my sleep, Star Wars fans, please,
Mhm.
please. But my understanding was the reason there was the twins were born, Luke and Leia, was to
Yeah,
balance the Force because Anakin went to the dark side, right?
yeah.
That was my understanding. So it's always a balance of dark and thing. So if you have Ben, dark side, or girl, God, what's her name again, bro?
I don't know. This is one character I
Dude,
blanked
what's
out. I
her
was like,
name?
not important.
Well, she was important until they did what they did. but anyway, so you know what I mean. Oh man,
Yeah.
no, it's gonna bother me. But she would have been the light side, right? Just to
Mhm.
balance the good and evil, and then you would have the clash at the end. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But they were trying to redeem. I guess it was trying to do a
Nostalgia.
redemption. They was trying to do the redemption story for Ben
Yeah.
Solo too. So then they needed a villain, and then they killed Snoke in the one that the episode 8, which made no sense. So he was like, I was like, oh, so he's like the big, and then they killed him. I was like, so he's not important. Like, dude, he died so easy. So I was just like, and then it was like, oh, he was just a clone. And I was just like, yeah. So anyway, so those last three. But my point is
The deaths.
the death of bringing back people like that to
Yeah.
me really really cheapens a lot of the sacrifice impact. It all
And
started when they killed off Superman in the fucking 90s and brought his ass back. I don't give a shit what nobody tells me.
I mean, for Superman
The,
2.
the death of Superman. The
Okay.
comic.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
was the first character because you remember they killed him and everyone was like, oh shit. And then they brought it, like, no, he was in the Matrix and he comes back. And I'm just like, and from that day forth,
Man,
bro.
that pissed me off. You kill Clark and bring him back, but I can't get back Jason Todd, the best Robin in the world. You
Jason
killed him.
Todd's alive.
I know he's alive, but he's not Robin.
Oh. They weren't even going to bring.
Get to where he's.
They weren't even going to bring his
Jason?
ass back. They weren't even going to bring his ass back. Like, it was almost like, yo, we need to let's use this guy. He's dead. That was a regret. That was a regret bring back. But that's all I mean. Like, no one. There's no longer a lot of times. There's no longer a lot of deaths that, especially of popular characters that stay dead, and I feel like it cheapens a lot of impact, especially in like comics.
And
anime don't do it as much, but they do it sometimes.
Yeah, they haven't done it in a long while.
At least in none of the stuff that I've watched. Let me see, and a lot of the stuff that I've watched. But nobody ain't coming back in Goblin Slayer. I can tell you that shit right up.
True.
Nobody ain't come back in that motherfucker. Nobody ain't come back in that, and nobody ain't coming back in Thor finished it. Oh man, the Viking.
Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga. So
yeah.
So at least all the. But
I agree with you. To me it ruins the story. Honestly,
especially when it's a heartfelt moment.
Yeah, if in Castlevania, if that person had, if it had ended that way, I would have given it a 5 out of 5. It would have made up for all the other plot holes that they did.
Shit,
it would be like, you know what?
You probably would at least give it a 4.
Yeah, you had some plot holes. It was a short animation time, but you made sure the ending was perfect. I gotta give you that 5.
But they did that too.
But from the time I see that man had Twitch, I was like, bro, you're about to ruin
this
story.
Huh? Okay, yeah.
You're about to ruin this story, huh? I was like, all right, cool.
Well, it was supposed to be his acceptance and, the mini redemption.
But you see, that opens so many more plot holes because you can't get into the internal corridor. You can't put somebody into the internal corridor unless the alchemist is with him. Because that's how the woman got in.
Well, that means
he can leave. So then it's like,
that means Saint Germain ain't dead then.
I would like to think so. But anyway, all
I know is that he used all them motherfucking humans that got slaughtered to throw that dude in there. That's all I know. so all them people that dead, asshole. Anyway.
So I think sometimes you have to honor that sacrifice. Yes, you can bring them back. Like they bring them back because people are afraid. Well, if we kill them off, how are we gonna continue the story? Or we can lose money. Because I think they did the same thing with Hal Jordan. Hal had died. Jon Stewart picked it up, and then a couple of years down the line, Hal was back, and I was like, "Yo, like."
I don't think he died. He became the Spectre or some shit like that, if I remember.
Yeah, he became the Spectre, but the Spectre is dead. So I'm like,
hey man, that's why Flashpoint happened, man. Just let that shit go, bro. Don't think about it too much. New 52 happened, bro. So we that's a whole new. Cause don't forget, what's his name? Fucking went into what's his name? Disappeared into the Speed Force and shit.
Barry.
They brought back Barry Allen and shit.
and to me, I honestly think that's why comics not selling as well, because you can't finish a story.
Well, also because I believe in Marvel's case, it's hard as fuck to jump in that universe if you're a new comic reader, bro. It's hard because you don't know where to start. Because they don't reboot the universe, so sometimes, like, to read a Spider-Man comic, you almost got to read from the fucking 90s. Almost.
Yeah.
DC, they reboot. I feel like DC reboots after every 52 episodes.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
They really did. All right, we released a new 52. Oh, fuck, it's not going too good, guys. All right, at 52,
We
We're
can
gonna
drop it.
rebirth. We're gonna do it or do a rebirth. And don't get me wrong, it done well because you could jump in at rebirth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I did. I jumped in at rebirth. I've been reading Wonder Woman. I'm gonna talk about that, like I don't know, little side thing. Because now that I think I said this a couple episodes
Last week.
before or
Yeah.
last week. Was it last week when I said to the solo that by reading the Wonder Woman story for Rebirth, I'm kind of pissed I'm Wonder Woman 84 now for what they did to my girl Cheetah
Barbara. Yeah.
Barber, because how they portrayed her as Barbara in that thing kind of spits in the face of the one that's in the fucking comic.
Yep.
And Dwayne was trying to tell me this before, but since I had never read a Wonder Woman comic like that, I wasn't too sure. But
That
now I
that
read it.
that's why it was like that's like we had this discussion already.
Yeah. And I will
Yes,
continue to have this
we
conversation.
we appreciate feminism. We appreciate having strong women, but you don't have to create the story and rub it in our face. And to me, that's why I
But
was like,
it was
yo,
already a story of
yeah,
her being strong.
I gotta look past what they did with Wonder Woman 84 in order to enjoy the story because from the time they switched from the Amazon back the Amazonians and how she grew up to her in the city, it was two guys almost hit a woman and she saved them and she saved her. And I was like, okay, you really ain't gonna do this. Like I literally told my wife, like, nah, she ain't gonna push that whole feminism thing like blatant like that. And then a bunch of teen girls robbed from a store that was owned by a man. Nothing happened. Then you switch to a mall and a bunch of men robbing a woman. It's like, yo, like you don't need to do this. And then when they bought in Barbara, and I was like,
What the
you
fuck is
had,
this?
yeah, you had a chance. All right, cool. Look past all the bullshit that you playing the movie to push feminism and stuff. You had the chance to use two strong women, two strong women, but because the whole society is you don't want. Like, how does that help? How does if you put if you're pushing progression, how is that progression? Because you're using a stereotype to push a message,
Yeah.
but they're reverting to the stereotype
You know
that
what's
was
funny?
the issue in the first place.
You
Yo,
know what's
that
funny about
movie.
you know what's funny is that that particular archetype, the picked on oppressive personality,
Mhm.
super nerdy stereotype, because
Yeah,
not all people that are nerdy like that. I don't know where they got that shit from, but never works. We saw what they did with Jamie Foxx in the with the Andrew
Spider Man.
Garfield Spider Man when he was
Mm-hmm.
the when he became Electro,
Shocker.
like was it
Oh,
yeah
Electro.
Electro,
Yeah,
right? When he
yeah.
became that, and I was just like, that archetype, y'all need to take that and put it in the fucking trash can. Like, stop doing it.
Yeah.
Because like no, I don't claim to be a writer, but it was so simple. Like after the Wonder Woman, as she as a kid doing the competition, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
This is just me. This is subjective. What I would have done, I would have flashed to Barb, and this was in the comic. Barb as a kid playing, because in the comic there's a panel where she's playing, and she at this point she had an active imagination. So she's like, I'm a Spartan,
Yeah.
stuff like that, right? Or in this case, if you want to go wild, she could say, I'm an Amazonian warrior, because she's a woman.
Yeah.
And then her dad, the maid comes get her, and her dad's like, "It's enough to done with these childish games. Take her stuff and throw it in the fire."
Yeah.
And then you could like flash, and then when you reintroduce her, just have her as a normal scientist, or
Have her no don't even have her as a normal scientist. You can run that way, or you can run with the way with she has this spirit of being a strong woman, but
right.
because of society, she struggles with having to play a part.
Yeah, it's a conflict.
That.
That's an internal conflict.
You don't ruin strong women.
But you see, the thing about it is because I watched it and I had no context. But you had already read and you was like trying to explain it to me, and I always say that's what made me excuse me. That's what made me read the comic because I was like, Dwayne keeps telling me about this, how they have Barbara in the comics, but sometimes you just gotta read it. Like someone explaining
Yeah.
something to you, sometimes you gotta just go and read it. And I went and read it, and it's always funny because the time difference, because he's in England and shit. I'd be texting Dwayne, bro, what the fuck is this? They were like random, and none of us can't fucking sleep because we insomniacs and shit. But it'd be like morning, and he'd be like, "Sean, why you awake?" I'm like, "I'm reading this Wonder Woman shit. I'm just slowly getting angry
Yeah,
because
B.
because there was a scene in the comic where she's like trying to she and this expedition team is trying to find remnants in the Amazon and stuff, right?
Yeah.
She finds a cave with all the Amazonian stuff, and the cave collapsed, and she tries to explain it to her male counterpart, which was another scientist, and he kind of blew her off because she was a woman. And that's where would have been a good internal conflict thing. Instead of having her like being all like, oh my god, no one sees me. And then she gets the powers, and then like all of a sudden. And I had no problem with how she got the powers. It's just I just don't
The
like when they do
transition.
I don't like that archetype. Because it's a
Yeah.
stereotype that is not true. Like why is she why is she such a good person when she's like that, and as soon as she gets power, she just goes straight power hungry. Like, why is it always that? You know what I mean?
Because it's not like they use the original premise of the story of saying that Barbara cut herself with the knife of the huntress goddess. If they had did that, I could understand why the personality switched, because the huntress goddess was like, "Yo, I want everything. I'm a gangster in this BIA. Rah!" But that wasn't the case. She just attained Diana's powers.
Yeah.
So your strength and your newfound attention wouldn't dampen your core personality like that. So I
also, guys, we're gonna talk about why didn't they just like use the magic power to just materialize Steve? Why you had to take over somebody else's body? You realize that Wonder Woman slept with some random dude? Because remember, she saw him as Steve, but the world saw him as a different dude.
I remember texting you like, yo,
I was like, I'm pretty sure he's right.
They're really only gonna give this man like three parts in the whole movie, but we supposed to believe there's a random dude. So we ain't gonna talk about the fact that you female superhero for about the place raping this man.
Yo, I was watching that. I was like, well, at first I was like, so his spirit is possessing this body. That's what, because he was like looking in the mirror and he saw it, and she was like, well, you look different and stuff. I was like, so
yeah, so you ain't there. You just
so is he conscious? Like, is he like in the back? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is he still conscious, but he has no control of his body? Like, bro, so questions started coming through my head. I had to like suspend a lot of it.
Listen, that's what I tell you, like, yo.
But that's what I'm saying. Why didn't they?
That's why every time we watch these superhero movies from Marvel and DC, I always remember you telling me, bruh, just don't get with expectations. Just watch it for what it is. And I'm like, yeah, okay. You see, ever since that, I start ripping it apart. I would get one over the 4B. I'd be like, Barbara was crap. Wonder Woman wearing her heels. She never did that because the first time she walked in her heels, she tripped and broke her ankle. Literally, the Amazonian superhero broke her ankle walking in heels. And because of that, she has always walked in flats in the comics. But I would have ripped it apart. But I'd like,
the thing about it is for me, the only superhero movies I really went into with like really high expectation was Man of Steel, because I was craving the fucking Superman movie.
And Green Lantern. I enjoyed it, but I think I enjoyed it because
I'm trying to think. I think, but back then we were still like, we was teenagers and shit around that time, right? So we were just excited for a fucking superhero movie at that point.
Oh yeah, because
Green Lantern.
When we watched Spider-Man, bruh, it was the first time it was ever done, and we was like, there is hope. Somebody appreciates us.
Well, it wasn't the first time, but it was the first. That Spider-Man was, especially Tobey Maguire, especially after the first two. But you know, we always talk about the skipping school for the third one. Anyway, we already did that. Check episode 1 where we tried to talk about Blade, but we talk about everything else but Blade. So yeah, but and in recent time it's Man of Steel and Justice League Snyder Cut, because I wanted to get the Joss Whedon version out my mouth.
Yeah. Kiss.
Anyway,
Mwah.
I think we gonna come down. You watch anything or watching it? Oh, you need to catch. Hey guys, be sure to catch Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead.
Dead.
Yeah, I'm
Very
gonna
good.
watch it tonight.
Very good. It's about 2.5 hours.
Mhm. I actually
As a-
watched it.
It has an interesting take on the vampires and stuff. You know, because usually
Okay.
not vampires.
Zombies.
Zombies. We talk about Castlevania and shit in my head in zombie mode, vampire mode. Yeah, zombies is interesting. Like the dynamic with the zombies and stuff. Cause you know, usually with zombies, it's always like Walking Dead, slow,
Yeah.
mindless. This one's different. You know,
Okay.
so it kind of gives the lead zombie motivation
A
and stuff
hive
like.
brain. Yeah.
Yeah, he's smart, but he has a motivation and stuff for
Mhm.
why he fuck up that team. But I ain't gonna say much more. Be sure to catch it, guys, this weekend.
Yeah.
It's a movie, so just knock it out easy if you're looking for something to watch this weekend.
Yeah, me,
anything?
I've been watching Supernatural, trying to finish off that arc, see how to end the story. Season 15, episode 8.
Oh, God. Yeah, I got to season 15.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
You know what I heard when you say that? It should have probably ended years ago. Seasons before that.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. But I can't judge it because I ain't even halfway through. So at first I thought the story was going in one direction and then they kind of threw it back in another direction. Kind of like how they do, like, oh, we need to please the fans. And I'm like, all right, so now we gone from 5 to okay. But I ain't halfway through yet, so I know what I could do. So I trying to finish it off because it actually got to the point where I was like, this is a waste of time.
I stopped at 10, bro. So I can't even say anything. At least you at 15. I stopped at 10, bro. I think like my brain was just like enough. What happened in One Piece happened with me. What happened with me watching One Piece is what happened with me watching this. I just got to a point that I was like, all right. Just like, I don't want to watch this anymore. And what happened to me at One Piece, I got past the flamingo art or something, and then I was just like, I'm not interested. It's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much, and every fight art, and I don't know what's after it, goes the same way. It jumps around from each person. They all get separated. Luffy comes in first, gets his ass beat, then he goes back, and then he jumps.
And he does the same superpower. Gomu Gomu.
Yeah,
stretch. Like somebody was like, nah, he got like God more no. I was like, okay, that's also her. But check this. I bet you like 200 pounds that I get it right. He's like, nah, you'll never get it right. Like the change up the whole art. I was like, all right, cool. So Luffy and God more no. So he starts to steam. Yeah, but nah, Air steam is like black steam. I bet you to do a whole Pokemon thing and get like Pikachu colors. Yeah, it red and yellow. I was like, oh my god, he's still stretching, but let me guess. Like he could stretch and then he could change direction though. Yeah, I want my fucking 200 pounds. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear, but I want my 200 pounds.
I talked to my boy DQ about it. He still watches it religiously every Sunday. I think he watches it religiously every Sunday. I don't watch it, so I can't comment on his new powers. Like I said,
listen, I will watch the last 4 episodes of One Piece. Oh my god! All right, I can talk to y'all later. Close the door, please. I'll watch the last 4 episodes of One Piece when they finish it. Because it's still good. 1,000 episodes to do what?
I don't know, dude. I haven't watched 1,000 episodes.
I know, but I mean, like, I think that was what 1.
Technically, if you take out all the fillers, it's probably like 600. But anyway, it's still a lot. But like I said, like I just lost interest, and I've tried to start back from where I stopped a few times. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Hopefully, eventually it'll end. It's like Detective Conan. That motherfucker's
Yeah,
still going, yo.
yeah.
I was like, you supposed to be this great
At
detective. You never
least,
solve your own
at
fucking
least.
crime.
I mean, yeah. At least with Lupin, you understand Lupin as a thief. He's travel all along the world, but my
Well,
seasons
Luke,
is closed. There's closed. I in France this
that's
year.
what I was
I
about.
in
That's what I'm about to
Germany this
say. The
year.
thing about it is it's not like he has like a supreme end goal. The supreme end goal of One Piece is to obtain the One Piece and become Pirate King, right? I don't even know if that's still the goal. Detective Conan, he's supposed to solve his crime so he could get his body back.
Yeah.
He still hasn't solved that shit. And it just keep going and 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 going, right? At least with Lupin, the seasons are like almost like segment off. Like this season, you're doing this shit. And you trying to steal that, blah 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 blah. And when that shit done,
Move on.
next season start is almost like a new day or a new week of shit that he goes through, and then that's done. It's not like I want to be the king of thieves or some shit like that, and then he just goes through all this shit. It's just we trying to steal this book, man. So he's a gentleman thief, right? You get what I'm saying? So like the whole season is him revolving around stealing this particular item or whatever, and then once it ends, and then he moves on to another adventure. So I can live with Lupin because Lupin been going on for a long ass time.
Still good. Still good.
But it's because it's all segmented off. It's not a continuous story.
Yeah.
So you can understand that. Well, everything else is just there's like 10 episodes of filler and like one episode that actually impacts the story. That's Detective Conan. But anyway, we are about an hour 20 minutes here, so we're gonna go ahead and call it a Saturday. I got
really. I thought. Okay. All right. Cool.
What?
I thought we was gonna talk about the superhero depression, the great superhero depression, Jupiter's Legacy. But we can do that next week.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that, dude. Shit. We went on about fucking. We'll do that next week.
We'll do that next week.
Yeah, I'll make sure to write it down. So I totally forgot, man, because I was thinking about talking about it last week, and then all that stuff happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, with superhero depression. Oh god, that thing was depressing for real, bro. Jesus, what the fuck? Oh man, that would yeah, we gotta talk about that because the code and stuff that will require us to actually talk about it.
That was a good debate that we had on WhatsApp.
All right, man, I'm gonna let you go. Right. We're gonna go ahead and jump off, guys. Be sure to catch us on YouTube tomorrow for the edited version. If you like what you see, follow, subscribe on YouTube, and as always, guys, stay safe out there. Peace.
Enjoy Castlevania.